I don't know if I'll end up publishing this or not. I probably won't, because I don't think I make the best kinds of videos when I'm in this kind of mood. I usually make better videos when I'm angry or upset about something in particular. I think it's probably to my detriment, but it's also just a part of my personality. I don't know why I was raised to be so passionate, and sometimes I wonder if that's a good thing or not. Lately, I've been starting to think that maybe it's not such a good thing. I know that sounds like emo and edgy, but sometimes you just wish you could turn everything off and just sit in silence, not have that buzzing in your ears, not have that kind of dread. I guess what really upsets me, it's not really the news or anything like that. I've kind of come to terms with that the world is fucked. I've basically just come to terms with that. I think that is kind of a Christian thing as well, right? To say that the world is fucked. The world is broken beyond repair. That's why we need Jesus, of course, right? That's the whole thing. That's the whole Jesus thing. That's the dilemma. That's why he exists in the first place. So I don't think that's necessarily a crazy new concept or anything like that. It's pretty obvious, actually, when you break it down. Well, I'm going crazy. Okay, never mind. But I guess what's been really upsetting me recently is just the fact that I don't really feel that I've been living up to what I could be or what I could do. I'm not living up to my potential. I'm capable of so much more than what I'm doing right now, or what I have been doing. This video is an attempt to do more. Scratch that itch, if you will. And I do have an itch that's being scratched that the other type of things that I've done on the internet haven't really scratched. The more personal things, when I feel like I have to talk, you know? Do you ever feel compelled to talk about something, compelled speech? If you haven't felt that, there's probably something wrong with you. And there comes the anger, which is going to make it easier for me to speak. But I'll use it to my advantage. If you don't feel compelled to talk about something, there's something deeply wrong with you. There's something spiritually missing in your soul, in your body, you know. In your physical body, there's something wrong with you. If you don't feel compelled, even if you're wrong, you know, which you could be. You could be wrong about all the ideas that you have, but you should still feel compelled to have an opinion, you know? That's why I don't really understand when people say, oh, I don't really have an opinion one way or another. You know, actually, I used to be like that, so I shouldn't say I don't understand them, because I do. I wish I didn't, because it shows that I was weak once. But we all were. But if you don't feel compelled to speak your mind about something, you should probably get that checked out. You're probably the type of person that would go to therapy anyway, so you should probably just go. Take Proloft, so you can go and
give love and support to those who need it most.
If you don't feel compelled, if you're just the kind of person that, you know, you don't feel compelled to say anything, I'm not saying you have to actually say anything, but you should at least have a feeling to. And you should feel a little bit ashamed when you feel a certain type of way about something and someone checks you on that and says, actually, no, I disagree with you. You should be like, no, actually, this is why I feel this way. And you should believe in yourself, even if you're wrong. I would much rather you believe in yourself and be wrong than be so spiritually weak and shallow that you can't stand up for what you think is right. Maybe that's what I've been dealing with. I think that's why I felt like before I wasn't reaching my full potential and what I could do. And I was doing a lot of things that I thought other people would like to see, or that other people would find fun, even if I did find them fun myself. Sometimes it's not about fun. Sometimes life isn't about fun, you know? Do you think artists are having fun with their art? Rarely. Rarely. That's what makes art so beautiful, right? That's the difference between art and playing, or art or playing a video game, right? You're creating something. Even if you're creating something for fun or with fun, it's almost not even art, right? Art almost inherently, you have to suffer at some point, right? And maybe the enjoyment only comes at the end, but that's the point. it's not an instant gratification thing. You have to earn it. It's something that you have to build and sculpt, and then you earn it. Maybe that's the problem that I've had. I haven't suffered as much as I probably should. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I understand that with my platform, I can do so much more meaningful things, things that I think actually matter. I can help people, and yet I haven't. I've just made fucking stupid videos about shit that no one cares about. But if I could actually make something that is intellectually stimulating and is able to make the viewer feel something, that is much preferable than making some kind of slop about some stupid fucking game that I don't even play, I would much rather make a game about real life. And even though I know that these kinds of videos and this kind of content probably won't reach as many people, the people it does reach, I hope will have a much more impactful experience with. I would much rather touch someone strongly, touch 5 people strongly 5 times, than go around and just make meaningless content that a bunch of people will laugh at. Even if it makes you mad, I'd rather make you mad than make you happy. I feel like the worst kinds of art are the stuff that makes you happy. I don't even really consider that art. If it makes you happy, it's not art. Art isn't happy. Art is supposed to make you sad or angry or, question God or make you think that God exists or doesn't exist. That's true art. If it doesn't make you think, is it really art? Or did you really do anything? Or did you just make something for other people to enjoy? And I'm also making content for myself. I'm using this as a kind of diary that I can get my thoughts out. I can spill my thoughts out on paper or on video, which allows me to organize my thoughts much better. And I can do this all unsolicited, which is even more fun for some reason. I kind of like the idea of making videos that randomly pop into people's feed and they kind of get jump scared by it, They click on it thinking it's something else or not really knowing what it's going to be, and then red pilling them or, I don't really want to say red pilling. That's kind of cringy, but you know what I mean. Surprising them, making them think when they thought they were just going to turn their brain off. Now they actually have to think about what's going on. That is very fun to me. It's a very cool idea. I've always been a bit of a troll as well. And it's also just a part of my humor where I'll make a lot of things as like sort of half jokes. I'll say something and it's a joke and I know it's a joke, but it's not a joke at the same time. There's a hint of truth in it. I think that's true with all jokes, They say there's a hint of truth in every joke. It's true. That's what makes them funny. Right? That's what jesters are for. That is the job of a comedian. A comedian is a jester. They're the ones that can talk to the kings without having to worry about being slaughtered. The jester is the most powerful... Holy shit, why did I fucking turn Chinese? The jester is the most powerful... The jester is the most powerful person in the kingdom. Because he can sit with the king. He sits with the king and he can laugh at the king's face. He can insult the king to his face. And the king can't touch him. He offers valuable insight to the king. The king is surrounded by yes men. That's very dangerous. The jester is able to mock the king and show the king where he's weak and where he could actually improve through laughter. That's why you get comedians that sometimes they say like super profound things, right? Because it is. Because it is profound. Life is profound. Life is also funny. God is funny. God has a sense of humor. You may not find it funny now, but it's like one of those jokes where you get it later, God does a lot of those. He does a lot of those kind of jokes where you don't really get it until later. You ever get mad at an insult that someone throws at you and you get upset? Like when you're a little kid, you cry, and then later you laugh at it, that's like God's humor. He does it a lot, you know? I also like that I don't necessarily have to censor myself as much. I can kind of let the mask slip and say whatever I want to say. And I do feel like it's something that is a lot more acceptable in today's time, to kind of say and think whatever you want. Although it's almost become backwards, right? Like now, if I'm not edgy enough, or if I'm not alt-right enough, I'm not enough of a Nazi or something, then I'm just a goy. And I don't really get that either. That sounds like pussy shit to me. I don't like it. And there's a lot of posers on the right now. And that shit pisses me off. I see these fucking posers. These women. Posers. You know? They think that they're like Nazis or fucking white supremacists or some shit. No, you're not. You know what I mean? You were a fucking liberal 5 years ago. You know what I mean? You've just changed now because it's cool. It's cool to be an alt-right edgelord now. That's the only difference. It's cool to be an alt-right edgelord. And things are gonna go back to the way that they were, you know, before Trump got elected the first time. You know, things are gonna go back to the, you know, Tyler the Creator, the Democrats, Bernie Sanders, the Starbucks shit. It's gonna go back. It's gonna just be even worse next time. That's the way it is. It's yin and yang, right? It's like a pendulum. When you swing it, when you have a pendulum and you grab one side and you let go, it swings back the other way, higher. And the higher you pull it up, the higher it swings back. People who think that this is gonna be like some massive fucking change that's gonna go on forever are fucking stupid. It is the meme. Nothing ever happens, right? It's true. In a sense. Not in a literal sense, but in a certain sense it is true, right? But it's also a mindset. Nothing ever happens if you don't think nothing ever happens. Nothing will ever happen if you think that is true, then nothing will ever happen. That's true. Because that's how perception works. The world is as you see it. If you think nothing ever happens, then nothing will happen. If you think you can change the world, then you will.